Welcome everybody to your boy Mark and MUFC fan channel. And you know what it is? It's the Premier Roundup, of course, game week 26. Better late than never, folks. You know how it goes. It's the one show you've been waiting on, and of course, every international Premier League fan has to be here. Drop your flags, rep your city. You know what it's up. You rep your team. You know what time it is. Come on, guys, let's get in for the Premier League review. And it's match week 26. There's a lot of interesting games that took place in this match week. And of course, we're going to get into that. Of course, you know you want to be hearing and talking about all the interesting things and, of course, all the terrible things. But as it stands, it gets really interesting because, of course, we're going to start with the fact that there's a lot of top four pressure. There's a lot of pressure going around the Premier League to begin with, folks. And if you know what I mean, because the league, it's very close. The table, it does not lie. And when I say the table does not lie, I have to show you the table, folks, because it's getting really interesting and it's very, very close. And you might want to listen and understand what this means. If you look at the points tallies of the different teams, there's not much in it, folks. 2 losses could see a team in top 6 end up in 12th, or maybe something like that, maybe 9th or 10th. It's definitely a pitfall for some teams depending on their performances. And of course, we're going to be looking for consistency going forward into game week 27. Of course, certain teams would be facing a lot of resting time because there's no cups, no domestic cups, no European cups. Hopefully they make the best of it. Of course, my team, Manchester United, is also facing that scenario. But we're starting off with some of the other results in the game week. And we're talking about Everton losing 2-1 to Bournemouth at home. And of course, Manchester United faces Everton next away at Everton. Could this be this is certainly going to be an interesting situation, folks, because everyone is thinking what everyone is thinking. Will we drop points against Everton again? But, I mean, did Bournemouth really win that game through sheer courage? Or was it purely based on Everton's mistakes? These are the questions you have to ask yourselves. You know, they have been picking up points quietly. Of course, David Moyes and the boys are going to be up for the game. But they're dropping it. And this might cause a big drastic hurt in their recent momentum. And, of course, they face the Red Devils coming up next. It's going to be a tough one no matter how they swing it or how they look at it. But what I can tell you, folks, from my honest opinion, I think the game was not the best performance from either team. I think they were both lackluster in front of goal. Neither team really showed that mettle. I mean, Bournemouth did win 2-1, but it was not the best. It looks prettier than it sounds. You know what I mean, folks? I mean, I see my brother Drex is there, but I don't know when he's going to come. When he comes in, he comes in. Of course, he's going to react to some of these games as well. I'm going to be moving on because, you know, it's not one of those late nights tonight. Tottenham Hotspurs versus Newcastle. And it gets really interesting in this fixture, folks, because, you know, Newcastle, you know, some would say they showed control. Some would say they showed a very strong performance of a team, you know, where they should be playing against a team that's clearly not performing well. But I would say to you that, you know, Tottenham. They were poor. They were worse than they were against Manchester United. I mean, it should have been an easy 3 or 4-0 win for Newcastle, but Newcastle dropped the ball. They weren't performing really well in the game. And of course, some people might say Newcastle did a very good job, but I think Newcastle really staved off a draw, in my honest opinion. I don't know what Drex is thinking, but of course, we're clearly going to hear what Drex has to say. Big up to Drex in the building. You're mute, bro.
I just realized I was mute. Yeah. Yo, what are you saying, bro?
You know, chilling, bro. You know, it goes frustrating times.
That game against Tottenham, I felt like I felt like both sides, right? I don't know what's happening to Spurs at the moment. I'm sorry, what's its name? Newcastle. I feel like they have enough firepower. They have enough firepower to actually be better than where they are right now. So it's one of them games where I look at the game, I'm like, yo, they deserve to win that game, right? They deserve to win that game. But could they have done more? Like, could they have done more? Yes, they could have. They could have done. But at the end of the day, you score 5 goals, you score 6 goals, it's still the same 3 points, right? So, and I think that game all but sealed the fate of Thomas Frank, who everybody at one time was saying United should get. You know, it's the next big thing. United should go get him and all of that. And at that time, I was like, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about, because if you want attacking football, bro, this is not your man. But it is what it is.
I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Thomas Frank, to be fair, but I still feel like what he doing at Spurs is something that, you know, I think need more time. I think half of a season is not really enough for him to really show what he could do, because he really just went in there at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? I think I was really disappointed by Spurs. I mean, it's not like Spurs were going to win or compete for Champions League at any point, other than the fact that they barely got lucky against us in Europa League final. You know, I feel like Spurs needed to pay attention and try and build something going forward, but maybe Thomas Frank was playing too negative football. I mean, if you look at some of the players he have, especially with the new signings that he have, they are really attacking-minded players. Tell, Odebert, Xavi Simons, and the like of those guys. You know what I mean? And I feel like maybe he just wasn't a bit adventurous enough. That's something we have to consider that went on with him there. You know what I mean? But I'm disappointed in Newcastle, because I think Newcastle is supposed to be a much stronger team, not just physically against the opponent. And I think they have a lot of quality players across the pitch. I just don't understand. But I mean, good favors for us, because we facing Newcastle in 3 games, and you know, hopefully they're not in a run of form, because we need 3 points.
Why does it say here Fulham 28? What's that? What's that all about?
No, that's my mistake, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, because it attacked Crystal Palace twice on the list, all kind of thing. Now I forgot to edit it properly. When I was doing it, I had a mistake, but screw that. The most important thing is the top 10, which is correct.
Oh, yeah. Newcastle in 9th position. That's good for them. So that's good for them. Yeah, 9th position. That's good.
That was the most important thing, the top 10. So at the same time, I would say, you know, moving on. I mean, you know, your boy with the cold celebration, Rodgers and Aston Villa creeping along, keeping up the
they
points.
Were lucky. They, in my opinion, see, they've been getting some result that's just going their way. I would say out of sheer luck, right? They were lucky, man. They were lucky to get all 3 points in that game. I feel like Brighton should have at least Brighton deserved at least a point in that game. But you know, football can be cruel sometimes. If you don't bring your A game on the day, man, it could just slip away like that. And it did slip away. Like that. An own goal, and that was it. That was the difference. An own goal at the 86th minute. That was the difference.
As it should do. And this is why we see Inter and them. Possession without any output is a waste of time. You know, Villa could be they could be making Villa one of the most efficient teams in the league with that result. And this is why, as a man, as not the biggest fan of possession football, because why can't they convert? Brighton had the majority of possession in the game. Brighton did all the damage in the game. Most of it, they looked the most threatening team in the whole game for the 78 minutes until that last 7 minutes where Villa had a spell, and then they come and they bombard them twice, and then they concede their own goal. And I think that, this was a recipe what we was going through at Man United, bro. I been real. You know, all this recycle and pass it and build up slow, and I'm not on that, bro. I'm not for that. That used to get me stressed, because you don't beat a team in the Prem. You really have to catch defenders off balance, you know. You gotta beat them in behind. You can't give them chance to settle themselves too much and thing. And I mean, Man City might have their way, but sometimes Man City attack is fly forward in a transition and one score goals. You understand? So for me, it's like our identity at Man United is a transitional attacking team. Now, if we add some more possession to that, cool. But really and truly, I love the style of play we always had. We win 20 trophies, King, with our style of play. Like, why we need to change it? We could win 20 more. That's just my honest opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not the be all and end all, but you know, when I watch at Villa and I watch that game with Villa and Brighton, you know, at the end of the day, when you're watching that result, Villa win. If you didn't watch the game, you would say, well, okay, you expect Villa to be the better team because they win. You understand, Trix?
Yeah.
So this is where I kind of have it hard studying them with that full possession and that dominance. And I not on that, bro. I never see, like, all the best football games I watch, it never had a really dominant team in the game.
You know what? You know what's funny about that Villa game, right? Because the past couple of games Villa have played, they've not been their best, and they've had a couple of results go their way. So now I begin to think maybe when they start fine-tuning, they're not playing well, they're having results go their way. So now, and I feel like football is just about a season. Everybody's got a rough patch in them here or there. So maybe these guys are just weathering the storm of their rough patch. By the time they get back into gear, bro, I hope they don't lose that third place, because if there's anybody I see dropping from this top 6 position, it's them, right? Because I just feel like the games that they play, the way they play the games they play now right now, it's not sustainable. But also, I'm not taking away the fact that it could just be one of them patch where they have rough patch, but they're still finding a way to get results, favorable results. So let's see how it goes.
I mean, it's a far cry from the result that Nottingham Forest had against Wolves. This was one of the weirdest games of the season I've seen. Like, I mean, Nottingham Forest should have won this game. You know, they had a couple chances. I think they had a chance cleared somewhere off the line on something. It looked like it was on the line. But I mean, I can't say Wolves did enough to derail them. I mean, I just feel like it's just disappointing, the result. You know what I mean? That result was just so disappointing. And it have nothing to stress about or to frustrate yourself about. It's just a shit result. You know what I mean?
Because if you look at the first half, Nottingham Forest should have at least have a goal, you know, one goal at least, but because it was all Nottingham Forest in the first half. Wolves were lucky to be in that game in the first half. Second half, the same pressure, but I think Wolves were able to get back in terms of shot on target and all of that. But it still favored Nottingham Forest. How that game ended a draw, bro, I do not understand. And I think Sean Dyche paid for that heavily.
The managers are madman, but it is what it is with the manager. I don't understand what really going with that owner of that club. But you know, I was waiting for Chelsea Dan to pull up. He didn't pull up, so we gotta destroy himself separately. Because you know, I have to talk about this Chelsea result. I think it was very, very frustrating. I mean, I don't know if it's the top 4 pressure. I don't know if it is that, you know, they're struggling defensively. I don't think it's real struggles defensively, right? Because at the same time, I think it's mistakes by certain players who would not normally start due to some players not being there or being rotated or rested. And I think this is where it was difficult for Chelsea. You know, it's one of those situations where I think, you know, Chelsea had deserved to win this game. When I saw they was up 2-0 by the 23rd minute, I was like cussing because Man United was struggling against, you know, West Ham. We wasn't playing well. We didn't start the game with energy, but Chelsea certainly had a fire at the beginning of the game, but that fire certainly died out very quickly. Leeds, you know, came into the game. They got a penalty and then they got an equalizer. and Chelsea never really looked like they were going to win that game after that penalty came in. It was always Leeds, pressuring, looking to get that equalizer. And it's a bit disappointing to see Chelsea drop points like that in the way they did that. I think it's hard pressed to say that United have done that maybe once or twice this season previously, and maybe in previous seasons as well. And I think it's really concerning the way they're dropping points.
For me, it's I know I'm not. It's not. He's not really my cup of tea, but I felt like Garnacho should have at least had some minutes in that game. Chelsea 2-0 up. Garnacho should have at least had at least 15 minutes in that game. That would give the Leeds right back, right, something to worry about. But it just looked, the minute Chelsea scored the second goal, it felt like they just felt like the game was done and dusted. But Leeds had another idea. They were let into the game by the penalty, and your man Okafor found a way to put Leeds on level term, and that's how the game ended. It was.
Tell man about Okafor, man, don't listen. I see Okafor in person. Certain men, they have talent. They know what they're capable of, and there's a brother. I feel like maybe it could be this season. It could be next season.
Yeah.
But he will be going to a big club in the Prem. He will move up to a club.
The Chelsea game, the Leeds goal, right? Sorry about that. It was the second goal. It was a quick fire, quick. After the penalty, Leeds were like, you know what? We need to get back. Momentum was with them. They just found a way to I was like, what, 8 minutes or 6 to 7 minutes apart from the first goal, right? And they were on level term, and momentum switched quickly, and it looked like Leeds were going to win the game, right? Chelsea did have a last attempt, I think, by Cole Palmer, right? But it just felt like they left it too late. 2 goals, they felt comfortable, but Leeds had another idea. And but in my opinion, I still feel like the manager should have given Garnacho at least 15 minutes after the second.
Bro, right now, I don't know where it is going on with Garnacho. I mean, like I would have said to anybody, he going to Chelsea, he's going to struggle. It's not the same players. They don't play the same way. They're not going to play the ball to him the way our players depended on him. Is going to be a different kind of vibe there. He will struggle. He's a youngster. But people will say, he's garbage. Cool. This is what it is. I have no qualms. Yeah. I am just saying to people, like, football don't work like that at the same time. You know what I mean? But shout out to that. Crystal Palace, however, going through the rut of trouble. Right now, this manager is seeing more hell than a cat. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird one, bro. Like, I can't even
see this coming, bro. I did not see this coming. Leading 2-0 to end up losing that game 3-2, and everything happened in the first half. I didn't see it coming, bro. I did not see it coming.
It's like, a wild one.
Bro, like, after the first half, it felt like the game was over. Second half, everybody was just playing. I don't know what they were playing for, but it felt like after the first half, bro, man made like, was it several substitutions to just find a way to get it back on level term, right? Oliver Glasner, there was no response at all. There was no response. 17 minutes, Crystal Palace took the lead. The new guy, Larson, the new guy from Wolves, he scored 33 minutes. He was on the score sheet again. I'm like, yo, man, pure, good, man, good. But Burnley was like, you know what? Hold my bottle, hold my wine, hold the glass of wine for me. I'll be right back. Hold my beer. And Meshbury got one back. Anthony put them on level term. Then Lemar was like, you know what, man? I'm just gonna help you guys and give you all the 3 points. I gave it to himself an own goal, and that was how he stayed that way until the final whistle. Scary, but it stayed that way. 5 goals in the first half, no goal in the second half. No.
Brother, all I had to say is that brother Jaden Anthony is an interesting player. Yeah, he's
No
interesting.
calling. Like the
Don't like
second
him.
half, they only had one shot on target both sides, and that was from Crystal Palace. One shot on target in the second half, and it was from Crystal Palace. That's it.
It's one of them games, bro. Like, I mean, I happy to see these things because the more these teams face their struggles coming into the running with Man United, the better for Man United.
For me, I don't see it that way. I see it as they would, because they've done so poorly, right? And they would want to see the United game and they're like, okay, we could get something from. Everybody tends to put in their best game on that day.
Sometimes they want that, Drex, because when they're trying to go above the levels, they just do extras, and then you hurt them. And when you hurt them, they drop. They be heavier. You know what I mean? When they fall from a high place, it is hurt more when they fall from a low place. So sometimes these are things that being a Man United fan for me, bro. Like, this is how I just look. Yeah. When teams want to come at you, this is where you want. Come at me. I'm gonna hurt you the most. Them ones there.
Yeah, I think Crystal Palace, they play Wolves next, so I think they should be able to get a point or 3 in that game, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Another interesting result. Dominance from Manchester City as they destroyed the Fulham. It's one of those results where you didn't want to see it, bro. Like, I don't want to see it. No one wants to hear about it.
What's funny about this game? This game, Fulham were expecting. I think Fulham were hoping that how the first leg ended, right? Fulham were hoping that they were going to do. Oh, Man City was like, nah, we're not having that. We're not doing that 5-4 shenanigans that you guys thought was going to happen. And I was happy for the result. I was happy for Man City. I'm not sure I shouldn't be, but for some reason, I just don't like this Fulham team anymore, man. I don't know. Fulham, what's the other one? Brighton, Bournemouth, bro. Those teams, bro. Dave, are you ready? Good.
Welcome to the stream,
what's happening, people?
Bro, let me move this thing so it don't block any. It's in block.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we went through the Chelsea segment.
Yeah.
Thought he wasn't gone. You see, I know he's a man punctual, so when I see it in there, I say, maybe it might be coming right. But
yeah.
This is what it is. Man popping up. Who's this now? Look, Chelsea, Dan Reach. Look. I tell you, it's at 8:30 UK, bro. It's moved real mad, bro. But anyway, big up to you guys in the building.
Been busy, Bob. Been busy.
Because we're going to talk about Man United now, so they could chime in and do all the worst. We know how that is go. But then we'll have some questions to ask you guys about all the results that we didn't get to ask you.
We could do a backflip into the Chelsea game. Let Dave and Chelsea
let's do Man United and let them we talk about Chelsea after, because we go the conversation at the FA Cup that happened this week. So our result, of course, this weekend wasn't the best result. I was telling everybody Man United is going to smash West Ham, utterly destroy West Ham. And we didn't show up to the party. We showed up and it was a lackluster performance. I have to say it. From what we saw in the last 4 games, it was more reminiscent of the first 10 games. We didn't really look like we had energy for the most part, although I would say we were the better team in the game based on the statistics. West Ham may have had a little bit more possession, or they might have looked like they had more spells. They might have had a long spell with the lead in the game, but they really didn't offer that much in front of goal. If you look at it, they had basically 3 shots on target for the entire game in 90 minutes, and 2 of the shots came in the last 80 something to the last minute, and it was one of those games where I was really disappointed in Man United's performance, and it seems to me that the manager had got it wrong, which he realized, and when he realized, he brought on Sesko. Sesko came into the game, he made a huge impact. But you could see the change in the game and the way Man United take control of the game when Sesko came on and he was getting himself in between the defenders and making the
Facts.
defenders have to fight this body. And Drex is always talk about that. We have a striker. Put him there. Let the defenders make a decision. And I of the absolute belief that when you're playing against a low block, the key to breaking a low block is forcing defenders to focus on your striker.
Right.
And then you could have other players to come in and do the damage, or whether they're coming from the wing or in midfield. But realistically, playing a false nine against a low block is a recipe for struggle, because the defender's not going to face a false nine forward like a big striker, because he's not a killer. He's a guy who could hurt you, but he's not a killer. So I think when you have a striker, a real number 9 in front, it's give our defenders more of a worry than if it's a false 9 playing. And I think that was one of the reasons why we dropped points in this game. I don't know about that one. We'll discuss that after we talk about Chelsea.
I feel like in that game, you're not wrong about what you were saying. I feel like, yeah, you're right, definitely. I feel like the difference was, though, the tempo of the game was started off differently. And the reason I would feel like that is because West Ham scored first. I just feel like if Man United would have scored first in that game, it would have been a different game anyway. But the tempo just changed once West Ham scored, and that was it. It felt like Man United was trying to come back, but it's just like, West Ham wasn't the best. They wasn't the best as well on that day. With that 1-1, it didn't, if you're just hearing it, you're going to think, it must have been a tight game. But actually, when you watch it, it was more open. It wasn't like any of the teams were trying to fight each other to try and get the win. It was just more like, West Ham scored first, and I felt like Man United's players' heads, went down too early. And then to try and recover from that, it made it even worse and took longer because, again, number one, substitution. If Šeško could have came in a little earlier, I think you might have salvaged that. But because he came in a little later, but these are things that happen in football. Sometimes you got to kind of just understand that the manager's going to do what he's got to do, and then find out how to make it better later. So, yeah.
Let me just jump in there, right?
Right.
When because that game, if you look at the first half, right, West Ham knew United coming off a very red hot form, 4 wins in the bounce. Yeah. How do we stop these guys from trying to execute the plan? The first half, it was all West Ham trying to just soak the pressure, right? Take this thing out of United's play, take this thing out of the attack, right?
Right.
Because if you look at it, the stat says it. We watched the game, the stat says it. So second half, they looked like, okay, 45 minutes, these guys are going to come at us. These guys are going to do the same thing that they tried to do in the first half, right?
Right.
Let's play. Let's catch them. And that was what they did, right? The beautiful move of the ball and put the ball into the danger zone. Kobe and first of all, Shaw, if he didn't go like the way he went, right? I feel like he would have had control of that play, that particular play. But lunging into that attack like that, put himself in a very bad position. Now, following through Meno and Casemiro, they didn't really see the guy run through them, and it's good goal, right? But the pressure continued. Now, West Ham knows that all they needed to do was play the same way they played in the first half, and it would just go their way. Not until Carrick made the substitution by throwing in the striker. Now, here comes me again with the striker thing. Bro, you can't have 2 strikers on the bench, right? For 45 minutes, right? You see how the game is going for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
These guys are defending. You can't have 2 strikers on the bench and not have one on the pitch at least. Because I'm not a coach, right? This is how I think. If you play in a low block, all right, you need a striker to at least engage the center back. Pull them out of because the center back are so disciplined, right? Most of them are very, very disciplined players, right? So, but if you have a striker that's trying to take them out of position, make them a little bit committed, be error prone, take that, give them that element of surprise. It creates another pathway for you. It creates an opening for you, But like you said, the manager's got to do what the manager's got to do.
Exactly.
The minute he introduced Šeško in and Zexi, Zexi almost had a goal. The header was
he did. The header
narrowly off the post. Narrow. So that made me even angry the more. I'm like, yo, you should have put this guy. You should have put this guy.
Literally.
Again, the managers, that tactics has been working for him for the past 4 games. We've played 4 different opposition. We played the open play. We played Man City. We played Arsenal. We played 2 other. We played Tottenham, who were good at low block, right? And we're able to get results. So I really can't complain so much about that because you've had your plan, your tactics has given you wins in the last 4 games, 4 different opposition. You executed it well. But I just felt like West Ham just came and said, you know what, we're going to spoil the party. We're going to spoil the party. And it was even, thank goodness, Sesko was on the pitch. Right? It was because from nowhere, he made that cross into the box wasn't like an excellent one from him. Trust me, it wasn't. Right. The man just was lucky to connect with that ball, and it was a good goal. 1 point, will I take it? Oh, yeah, I would take it. If you tell me 12 out of 15 possible points, it's 12 out of 15, bro, I'll be like, I'll ask you prior to the 5 games that we played, I will ask you where is that coming from? But 12 out of 15, bro, I'll take it, right? But like you said, the energy at first, for me, I feel like the energy at first was there, but when they tried unlocking that West Ham defense, they felt in that first half, they felt like, you know what, how do we do this? And West Ham really just pounced on that. At least second half, it was the same. I saw almost the same thing that we did at Nottingham Forest, where we went to the second half of Nottingham Forest, and bro, 2 quick goals, and everybody was like, how did that happen? How did that happen? So it is what it is. For me, it's a point, not the best, but at the end of the day, when I saw people like Chelsea dropping points from a 2-goal lead, I'm like, you know, I'll take it too. You know, I'll take it.
I mean, bro, it's a disappointing game weekend for Man United. I mean, for Chelsea as well. I can't say, because I would say this to you guys. I think I expected a better performance from your team. I think the way you all dropped them points in that game would be disappointing for me. It was reminiscent of how Man United performed in the first 15 games of the season. You know, you'd be up a goal or 2, and then the team will come back and equalize or win the game. And I feel like I didn't expect that from Chelsea. Especially at home at Stamford Bridge.
Sorry, man, I can't talk for me because I've got the kids going crazy. But I'm going to quickly, just before you come in this one night, Mark, and you talk about Chelsea dropping points, consistent, fair enough. We were 2-0 up, and the first one with Caicedo's from the mistake on Chelsea, right? Gave away a penalty. That because he's overtired, overrun from. The second goal, if you actually look at the second goal from Leeds, it should have been a goal. The VAR once again made the put it like you Man United fans. It happens to Man United, it happened to United, it's happened to Liverpool, it's happened to Arsenal. That goal from the handball should have been a goal. And VAR somehow once again, like the Brentford game when we drew at their ground, right, 2-2. It's exactly the same thing. VAR made a mistake. West Ham. Yesterday, I watched the West Ham Man United game. Yeah, fair enough. You had opportunities, but you got 1 game a week. There's no, you guys. You shouldn't be ifs and buts because no bad and iffy. You have 1 game a week. You're out of the FA Cup. You're out of the Caribbean Cup. Right? There's no cup competition for you guys.
West Ham got 1 game a week.
But still, no. But what I'm trying to say is, the goal you scored, fair enough. Was offside. You did have opportunities against West Ham. But West Ham could at least had about 4 goals if Callum Wilson.
No, they couldn't, bro. They couldn't. They only had 3 shots on target, and they had 6 shots. They had 5 shots in the whole game.
Listen, if Callum Wilson didn't go, there was 2 on 1. If Callum Wilson didn't be greedy, he could have passed that to one of his players, and it could have been a tap-in to make it 2-0. But what he went and done and decided is
let me just give you something. Let me give you a bit of context to that. In first half, they had only 1 shot on target. First half, they had only 1 shot on target.
I know the first half.
Second half, they had 2 shots on target. One of it was the goal. The second one was the Callum Wilson one you're talking about. So when you say West Ham could have at least be 3-4 goals up, that's why Mark is saying, no, that's not correct. So I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, no, but right? Good
I hear you. They should have scored the second goal.
They
could have scored the second goal, but good good substitution by Carrick from bringing in Euro, and good defensive play from Euro for understanding what to do at that time, because he could have committed earlier, but he decided to stay because he was in between two West Ham players. If he committed earlier, Callum Wilson just puts the ball to the other side, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But he decided to stay, hold his run, and waited until Callum Wilson decided what he was going to do, which was he decided to shoot. I hear you when you say he should have passed the ball, but don't forget, Euro was reading the game with the best of his ability, and he was able to read. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't give it to say Callum Wilson for not trying to do the right thing or what. I give it to Euro for reading that game and intervening the minute Callum Wilson decides to take a decision. The minute Callum Wilson decided to shoot that ball, Euro was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw myself in there, and that was an excellent defending from him. I hear you, but I'm not gonna take it away from Euro. I'm gonna give it to Euro as much as trying to put it on Callum Wilson.
Yeah, but no matter what, as a poor decide for West Ham as a striker, as a defence, it was greedy. If he wasn't greedy and passed that ball, they could have scored and made it 2-0. But because he wanted to be the superstar, like when he was at Newcastle, he decided to think, I'm gonna go try and do it my own and score the goal. As you saw, the Man United players arguing with him, and even the West Ham fans were arguing, saying, "Why did you not pass that?" But in the day, it's a fair result. You guys, like I hear Mark saying he was going to beat West Ham. He told us he was going to beat West Ham. No bans, said he was going to slap West Ham 3-1. But they gave you a good fight. And West Ham for a minute have been performing with the new manager, the Portugal from Wolves. He's been doing great for them, non-stop winning games and draws. But can Carrick be consistent to do it? Because I hear a lot of Man United fans saying they won't carry it out and then I hear a lot of Man United fans saying he's going to have a 5-win bounce. Like some guy said he's going to shave his haircut if Carrick gets a 5-win bounce, but he didn't get his haircut. He didn't have his haircut in the day. But Man United. That
wasn't on Carrick. That was United winning going the 5-game winning streak. That was not on Carrick. That was
on that dude run haircut now, bro. Who cares about his haircut, bro? Listen to me, bro. You want to come to tell my manager?
Probably like what my body told me. Man just told me that guy might be putting on wig, just making us look like just mugging us up, right?
But what I'm trying to say is, Drex, your manager hasn't won 5 games in the bounce, The Fulham game,
but he's only been there for 5 games.
So is Liam
He's
Westler.
won 4.
So is Liam Westler.
He's won 4.
So is Liam Westler. We could talk about Liam Westler, Look at how well he's done. Look at the results.
Make me understand the debate here. Make me understand the argument here. You are saying you are going off what United fans are saying about Carrick, right?
No. What I'm trying to say to you is, is Carrick should know. Carrick's managed your club before. There's no excuse for United fans. Carrick's had managed your club before. He knows the Man United. Man United should know Carrick from the legend of what he did for your club. But suddenly, you bring him back in again, to manage the club, right? Yes, he's done well for you for 3 games. You beat Man City, you beat Arsenal. You got lucky to beat Fulham, but you won in the end. That's in a day a result is a result, right? And the West Ham game, you couldn't beat a low block team where West Ham half of the percentage did defend really well and actually did create more chances in that game as well. But the team, there's no excuse from you guys. You got 1 game a week. With Chelsea.
Let me address that 1 game a week thing. We've got 1 game a week, right? We've got 1 game a week, and West Ham's they've got 1 game a week as well.
What are you doing, Drex? But what are you doing?
No. You keep saying 1 game a week as though
Did they not just play the FA Cup? Did they not just got knocked out the FA Cup this weekend? Did they not just got knocked out the FA Cup this weekend?
You having 1 game a week?
But Drex, what I'm trying to say to you, I'm not balanced here. Did they not play West Ham? Did not West Ham have an FA Cup game this weekend? Did they? You was out a couple months back.
Okay. Prior to that game,
you talking about West Ham. Now they're about this weekend. Now they've got 1 game a week. You're adding. This last week ago, they had 1 game a week.
No. You're not understanding me. prior to that game, they played one game. It was one game prior to that game. So
but no matter what, but what we're doing here, West Ham is small club. You're meant to be the big club, then West Ham. So what you compare West Ham?
So if we are meant to be the big club against West Ham, why did Sunderland draw against Man City? Why did Sunderland draw against Arsenal?
Why
we're doing the big club by default because you are. By default, why did Chelsea draw against Leeds if we are doing the big club thing? Bro,
I'll tell you why we
what
draw.
you bring on the day, bro.
I'll tell you why.
If you bring nonchalantness and lack of energy on the day, bro, guys with the energy would win.
You're 100%
anytime, bro.
But Drex, you're 100% right. Spot on, yeah. You're spot on, right? But the thing when we draw to Leeds, because our team's not good enough and we're overtired. Our team is
Stop
overtired.
saying this, and our team is not good enough. When you win, the team is the best. When you draw a point, it's not good enough. Why are you saying this, bro?
Do you know what? We have more games than what Man United have. Yeah, we have the FA Cup.
I agree.
Right? And we have the Champions League, right?
Last season, we played more games as well than any Premier League club. I agree. I agree.
We have more games than you do. We have more games. On a weekday, we had the Champions League.
It's not an excuse, brother.
But the thing is, but our team, no, excuse is not. Yeah, there's no excuse. The thing I'm saying to you, Drex, with our team, Caicedo looks overtired. The amount of games he's played, he looks overtired. He looks tired.
Right, bro. There was the season I played Bruno from the start of the season until the end of the season, bro. Nobody complained, bro.
Yeah, but you got one game a week, and you're on holiday now for a whole week, where we got a game to play again.
And guess what? When we play Everton, if we draw against Everton,
who did you play this weekend?
It is not. We could still say the one game a week is hurting the players because one game a week it means that you're just there cold, just playing, just doing your training, bro. One game a week is not even enough.
I'm gonna say to you guys, it's not there. I'm gonna ask you guys a question quick, yeah. So what was your excuse for drawing with West Ham if you got one game a week?
Okay, what was excuse for drawing against Leeds? I haven't let that game 2-0.
The Leeds United game, yeah. The excuse, there's no excuse in that game because the thing is that half our players are injured. Where we got more games than United.
I'll check. Let me read out your starting lineup for you because you like.
Cucurella came out. Cucurella came off the pitch. Cucurella came off the pitch injured.
Well done, Drex.
Right, Drex. Yeah, he came off injured. Like David, true, David did not Cucurella come off. Yeah, about having an injury. Right, yeah, he put Hato on. Right, the whole point of that game.
Let me give you your starting line.
I know you don't need to tell me the line. I know who played. Liam Delap is crap. He's not a Chelsea proven player. Right? You've got Garnacho. Yeah, you got Garnacho show who's crap.
Bro, I need you to skip. I need you to do some DJ effect on it. Repeat that again. You said Liam Delap.
Hey, I'm gonna dead here, boy.
He's average. Half the players we've got are average. Garnacho is the waste man.
Dave, what club do you support? Arsenal.
I'm a Chelsea man.
You're a Chelsea man, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be real, yeah, because I like Chelsea down. Sometimes he goes overboard. Every time
Chelsea. No, but Garnacho is rubbish.
He wants to attack. You know.
I get you. Trust me, I get you.
Yeah, he's I love him for that, right?
Yeah.
But let's look at this thing. I know every club would say some of their players are crap, right? Mm-hmm. But on the night against Leeds, right? You had one substitution. I think injury forced one player out. But
came out
is that enough to drop 2-goal lead?
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah, it was a team. It was a team's fault. It wasn't anything to do with injuries. It wasn't anything to do with players being tired.
Yeah,
it's what it was. We went up 2-0. We got comfortable. We let our guard down, and then they punched on it. Because after we scored the second goal, that's all it was. They just kept coming, and we never took initiative to defend properly. And after that, they caught us up on the first one, and then the second one, it was a mistake again, and they scored from 2 mistakes. It wasn't like
our goalkeeper's fault. It was our goalkeeper's fault.
It wasn't like they played good football. It wasn't like they played good football and then gave us a reason to lose the game. It was just our fault on the defensive side, and midfield could have done a little bit better too. So that's all it was. But we definitely could have won that game if we wanted to, and they would have played right. Absolutely. But I feel because they got 2-0 up too quickly, it changed it. They was like, oh, yeah, we got this. Leeds, why are we even worried? Yeah. And then they let their heads down, and that's what happened. So, that's how that game was. It's natural. That's what happens with every other team.
I agree with David. I agree with what David's saying. I agree with David. But the thing is, without that Leeds game, right, it was over tight. Caicedo on his day, and if he's on his best performance, David would probably agree on this. He wouldn't make that stupid mistake what he did on that Leeds game. He would have made that. It wouldn't make that stupid mistake, but because he was overtired.
Luke Shaw on his day would not launch into an attack like that the way he did, and the defender just skinned the attacker.
There we go.
Because football sometimes we need to understand this. Football sometimes, right? Every player is trying to be on their A game with concentration at its maximum. The minute you let your concentration drop a little bit, it could cost you the game.
Yeah,
but we speak all the time about football. We're good mates. Yeah, with me, you, Mark, and you have been good mates for a long time on Pape's as well. We talk. Yeah, we both bands between ourselves, but we also talk football. Tell me how many games has Joshua Champon played for Chelsea this season?
Bro, I see. I might not know, but I'm saying you want to put the injury on.
No, but I'm gonna give the individuals here. The individuals of Joshua Champon. That game. Yeah, he was so poor because the guy don't get much game time. What he basically does, that's why he makes a kind of mistakes in the game. Where Sanchez, that game, I'm saying I'm addressed, but I'm trying to tell you, the game of first Leeds, if it wasn't for Sanchez, he should have came out and grabbed that ball. But the thing is, our defense and the goalkeeper made a poor area to make it 2-2, but in a day that goal shouldn't have been a goal from the handball. But we, as a team, half of the like Caicedo has played more games than anyone in our midfield since this season. Enzo Fernandez he's had the rest. Right, apart from the games that Caicedo's had the rest, where he's been sent off against the Arsenal game, where he from the 10 men that time, he had a few games off, and he came back. Then he got sent off. For another game, I can't remember. He got sent off in that game. But half of the duties, when Caicedo comes on that pitch, he's our main star than anyone else. Right,
I get that Chelsea down, but bro, you still listen,
Can I take that ride with you on the excuse can I go on that train with you on excuses, right?
I'm not making excuses.
Luke Shaw has
Luke Shaw's not good, guys. Luke Shaw good.
Luke Shaw every game this season. I might as well say Luke Shaw was so tired. That's why he launched into that attack.
Mark, who's your best forward? Who's your best forward?
Luke Shaw should know better.
Bro, listen, I wouldn't say Luke Shaw is my best fullback, bro. So if you want to go into listen, and this is me, bro. This is me, and you know
who's
me.
Your best fullback? I know, Mark. You tell me Luke Shaw ain't good.
No, bro. Listen. I don't make excuses when my player's injured, bro. You should know that better than anybody else.
I'm not making it.
When my player's injured, I just always talk about the man coming off the bench.
No, but I'm talking about individual.
Because guess what, bro? No. Guess what, bro? You have a squad. You didn't spend $1 billion on one man. You spent $1 billion on a squad.
I agree. How many games has
listen, played this season? This is the problem. This is where it had a fight. You had to get our focus, bro. You will lose players throughout the season. It is normal. Every squad, every club has players, key players out to injuries at some point in key moments of the season, sometimes even the whole season. So yes, I get it, bro. Caicedo is playing lots of games, but brother, let me tell you something, bro. Where you watch me good. It only had 3 football clubs in the world in the last 10 years that had to play Champions League and Premier League within 22 hours. Yeah, less than the normal 48-hour ban. And you know the 3 clubs was? Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Barcelona King. Go and check it online. Bruno Fernandes, bro, over the last 3 seasons, played more minutes than any other footballer.
Yeah, he did.
Because guess what? He played every single game. Club, domestic, Europe, everything.
Country.
You feel I, man, was crying, oh, Bruno tired when he played a shit performance. I was like,
no, you're right. I know that.
He was shit today. I just saying to you, Chelsea, because bro, listen, we all here rate Caicedo heavily. Nobody here don't think Caicedo is a poor player. So if he make one mistake that give up a penalty, bro, we not watching that. We not stressing that, bro. That happened. So what?
Right.
Move on. Next game. Because next game he might score a banger and have a man of the match performance. So it's the same kind of principle, bro. You don't need you lost, these things has happened. And that's how I just look at it, bro. Realistic.
And the reason why they draw that game, right? And I said it before, and Prince has echoed it. It's not because they played. They had 2 goals and they felt like, bro, we're done here. Yeah. We are home.
Exactly.
We're leading 2-0. What's the worst that could happen? If they push for a goal, we're gonna just kill them with the third one, and we see out the game. To them, the game was done. Trust me, the game was done. And when Nchema got the penalty, Kopama made that mistake and gave the guy the penalty, and the penalty was awarded, and the guy converted, right? I expected Chelsea to say, you know what, this guy's momentum.
You're about the misclick over the bar.
Let's get back the momentum. Let's balance it out. But Chelsea were just resting on their laurels, and before you know it, it was the second goal. If you want to say it wasn't. If you want to say VAR should have done something about it.
We had to fight for the game. We had to fight for the game.
Goal. After the second goal was scored. What? The second goal was scored in the 7
minutes after, bro. About
7
minutes after.
73 minutes.
74 minutes. Yeah, 74.
You had almost 15 minutes plus added time to get back into the game. And like what Dave said, they just realized they didn't show like they wanted it more. They had a chance in the 95th minute Kopama, but I felt like it was too late. You get me? And I said what I said. I know I'm not a big fan of Garnacho, but I felt like 10, 15 minutes or even 12 minutes after the minute these guys equalize, I don't bring him in to terrorize them. Bring him in to force him to make it, because he knows how to force people to make it to commit himself and bring it. So it might not be your cup of tea by starting. We as a United fan, I've seen him play for my team. He comes off the bench and he does the job. Right? Yeah. Whenever it starts, I'm one of the people that cry out and say, no, this guy shouldn't be starting.
Hey, when
the bench, everybody points finger to me. I'm like, Dress, you see what he's doing? I'm like, I know from the bench he's good, but from start, bro, no. So bringing him off the bench to at least put some sort of fear in the hearts of the defense, of the Leeds defense, would have helped. But at the end of the day, it is the players that wanted it most that actually got what they wanted. And the Leeds players, they wanted it more. They got to 1 point. And so be it, bro. It's
the game reminds me. The game reminds me against
when you were asking me, I'm supposed to have a game a week, right? A year now, you're saying the Achipong guy hasn't had enough game. So don't you now realize that having multiple games, like 2 games a week, helps you in terms of your sharpness? So me that's having 1 game a week, my sharpness might not be that much as to a guy that is playing Tuesday and Sunday. Because if he made a mistake on a Tuesday, there's another game coming.
Correct it on Sunday.
He needs to rewrite that mistake. But if a guy makes a mistake on a Saturday, he has to wait till the next Saturday.
But the guy don't play he don't play 1 game, the next thing he plays in the next game. That Liam Wilson, what he does, he rotates.
We're saying the same thing.
Rotates. He rotates.
For me, right, it's the same thing with West Ham and United. West Ham got the goal. They rested. They felt like, okay, you know what? We would hold out this one and get the 3 points. They had opportunity to score a second goal, right? Like you said, Callum Winston decided to go selfish, and Euro made a good interception on two occasions. United wanted it more. They kept pushing, and even a low weight, a cross that I don't deem a very good one was what made the difference.
That was a terrible cross. Let me do even try to make it sound like you do a good job. And you heard me what I said about the cross before it goal score, bro. I was like, look at this shit cross, this man go.
Before we knew we were at the back of the net, and we're like, yay, good goal, you know. But it shows that whether you're a big club or you're a small club, right? If the desire is there and the opponent is just resting on the laurels, bro, you can make something happen for yourself.
Yeah. We see with the Leeds game, Drake's with the Leeds game, right? It reminds me last season.
Mark, we've not talked about the Arsenal game.
Yeah, when we played Ipswich. Ipswich last season, yeah. The first season we played Ipswich, we lost to them, right? And the second after Christmas time, we went and played them. We should have done that game. We was comfortable to win that game, and we ended up drawing with them again. This is what reminds me of the Leeds game when we lost 3-1 at their ground, and then we ended up drawing them at Stamford Bridge. I'm not like, the thing is that it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough at home, and we got Burnley coming up this weekend on Saturday, and to play that performance, yeah, right. The things that I'd say, the individuals, right, on Cucurella, I'm not making it exclusive. The thing where Hato Commazzoli, he plays left back, but the whole team weren't good enough. Garnacho is not good enough for Chelsea. Gittins, I know we can't blame on Gittins.
You want to say that now. Earlier when the season started, you were saying it was one of
Drake.
Yeah.
Drake, I was never happy with Garnacho coming out of Chelsea Football Club. What are you on about? I didn't want this guy at the club at all. I said from day one, from start of the season, even Mark knows. Mark, Garnacho is the waste man at the Chelsea Football Club. He has to be gone. And if this thing about him being a swap, yeah, for that Juventus left winger, I'll take it.
Mark, let's move on to. I think we still got Liverpool and we still got the Gunners to talk about. Before you ask your question,
bro, I'm gonna say it like this with you on that one, bro. You have to remember, bro. Like I keep telling man, you could want to sell a player. That player had to be willing to. That's the biggest problem with deals when they sign players to contracts. Garnacho only signed to a club this summer, bro. It's very hard pressed. He's not a far. If he wanted to go to Napoli, bro, Napoli opened the doors to the kingdom for him last summer, bro. Didn't want to go to Italy. He wanted to play in the Prem. It's gonna be tough. Shit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing, Brentford? Don't let the Gunners fans let them storm your stream. I'm like, what?
That was 1-1. Mark, it was 1-1.
It was 1-1, bro. I'm gonna type it.
Let me see. You see all those things we talk about selfishness and all of that, bro. Brentford should have won this game.
100%.
100%, bro.
Brentford.
I thought Igor Thiago would have killed them on the 79th minute.
You see man get like the ball
Thiago, one-on-one.
Game, you should get them out of the stadium. Hold the ears like this. Put a leak behind it. I'm like, what were you doing?
Bro, I want to jump Kiki, bro. He could have been my little brother. Brother, listen, I'd have warm up the back of his head, bro. Like, when they got a fresh haircut, warm it. I'd have warm Igor Thiago, bro. I promise you, bro. Like, bro, you see what that man missed? He didn't miss it, but
it was not just one.
You done there. The defender coming at you, and in that moment, before you shoot, you could have just roll it to Damsgaard because Damsgaard on your left, there nobody on him. He clearing space. The keeper in no man's land. It could be, bro. You want to shoot? Oh God! Every time I see he line up to shoot, bro, I was like, oh God, they're gonna miss because, bro. Roll it to the man. It's the same thing of course on Mbumo for a day. Mbumo want to shoot, Bruno to your left. In space, wide open. You shoot, and men want to tell me about Bruno, about Mbumo is the magic man, brother. If he was the magic man, he slide that to Bruno because Bruno.
The reason why they say the magic man is just because of his conversion rate. That's it.
Yeah,
bro. Such a better conversion rate than here. I hope you know that.
But hear me out. The reason why they say is because if he gets 2 shots on target, right? There's high chance that one ends up at the back of the net.
Facts.
I think that's why
Sesko's at 1.5, bro. Right now.
So that's I'm just putting out there. But going back to the Arsenal game, right? I felt like after that goal from Madueke, right? Arsenal didn't really look like another goal was coming. It didn't look like another goal was coming. And I felt like they were going to hold on to that 1-0 lead. That's what I felt. Like, these guys, I don't see any goal coming. I feel like the defense was going to do enough to hold on to that 1-0 lead. And somehow Brentford found themselves in the game, 1-1. I'm like, okay, the Arsenal I know would still grind out a win. But they didn't. It was Brentford looking to grind out a win. On 2 occasions, I'm like, come on, man. Christmas don't come.
Raya kept him in the game. Basically, Raya kept him in the game.
Raya did. But Raya did So this is what I've said. You see, the other time I said for Callum Winston, I wouldn't really say much about Callum Winston making a mistake. I'd rather go with the defender for actually reading the game well. But in this case, the striker he gave Raya all opportunity to make that save.
To save.
He should have found the spare man. He was open, one pass. That guy was true on goal. He would have at least
walked. He
was
walking in the net, Drex. Don't say it like that. I was watching the game. Brother, listen to me, bro. You doesn't understand. I just be watching this game and I be saying, bro, it's so simple. Look, the man right there. He is right there. The keeper is on your right. The defender is on your right. And your player is on your left running into empty space, green grass, and a goalpost empty because the goalkeeper is to your right and you in the center of the goal. Running as striker. You running center of the goal, bro. That is in Germany, they say I'm fuck Scheiße, bro. Shit. That is garbage. Bro, and listen, too many players nowadays is do these things and man them and say, well, bro, look, he had a shot. He had a good shot. Yeah. Bro, he did foxy shit.
Look at Martinelli. Look at Martinelli. The chance as well.
Bro, this is why Manchester United tell Martinelli he's not good enough, bro, when he was 17. You're not good enough. Go on. Move on from here. I'm not trying to say that we know the best all and be all, but brother, listen, I think a lot of the talented players we have here now good, but in 2010s, they will be average players coming off the bench, bro. You know what I mean? Very, very rare. Maybe Cole Palmer starts. Maybe Estevao gets in sometimes into the 11. Maybe Bruno starts. You know, maybe fucking this guy might get Mbeumo might get into the 11. But bro, none of these brothers here starting for these teams. They're not even getting into a Wigan or a fucking QPR starting 11, bro. You telling me that's a man them here start? You Martinelli starting over Adel Tarat? You mad or what? They're bringing,
bro. But Mark, they're bringing Eze. For Arsenal this season. And we heard these Arsenal fans with Gyökeres, Eze, right? It's going to be compared good partnerships together where Eze will help Gyökeres bang in. We heard it all, 35 goals this season. Since Eze's came in, Michael, the bottle jobs merchant, the Lego merchant, I'll call him, right? It's made him look worse. Because Eze, he don't trust him. He never hardly plays him in the game, And since he don't know how to play Gyökeres and he doesn't know how to play Eze. Eze is not a midfielder. He's more like an attacking 10. He's like a creator attacker. But he's playing him like a box-to-box defence outside the mid. I don't get what this team's doing because Gyökeres has been awful. Fair enough, he scored 7 goals in the season.
I want to ask you a question. Do you want them to win the league?
No, I don't.
Okay, so why you
I'm not even arguing what they're doing. I mean, but
Drex, the thing is, we know that mindset. No, but the thing with what I say, Eze shouldn't have gone to Arsenal. Is to get ruined with Marco Arteta.
Where you want him, bro? Listen, I don't know about you, but you don't want Eze at Chelsea, bro. I promise you, bro. You would have hated this guy at Chelsea.
No.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why this sudden talk about Eze like Eze was done something, bro. But he's never had no 18 season,
never.
No. I want you to hear me, bro. Hear me good.
Yeah.
He's
no way better than Elise. He's no way better than Elise.
He's okay. He's nowhere near Elise, bro. He's okay.
You guys were putting so much expectation on Eze, like he would just go into the team and just revolutionize damage. Eze even at Crystal Palace, Eze was coming off the bench for some games, bro. So the whole expectation on Eze is.
It was only good with Elise. It was good at Crystal Palace with Elise, but the thing is with Eze,
he was good at Crystal Palace, but he was not. He was not that guy. So I can't understand where everybody's saying Arteta making him worse.
This expectation is what's really making people talk too much. Eze going to Arsenal was not like, he's going there, they'll win the league. Bro, Eze going to Arsenal was just a player going to build the squad as well.
Right.
So if this person is injured, this man steps in. So they have 2 players for every position. And some would even argue that Eze is being used wrong in the wrong position. But the truth is, The man before now, the man has got his team that has almost won him the league. All he needed to do was just buy players, just in case these guys that have almost won him the league, any of them is having an issue, he could just bring almost the same quality in terms of quality and just to the team. That was it.
It's about this. It's about the Arsenal team.
It's like Eze will do this. Bro, it's not like that, bro. And don't forget, the young man is going into a team that he still has to gel with.
Yeah,
first season.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is why, bro, I say to man them.
I hear you when he's saying he's prem proving, but don't forget he used to play in a 3-4-3 system. Now he's gone to 4-4, whatever kind of, but he's a back four. He still has to. He's a professional. I hear you when you say that, but there's still time to gel. And several times we've asked the manager to play Eze with put him behind Gyökeres and see the same thing he used to do at Crystal Palace. But often he doesn't really do it like that. I don't think he trusts it like that. He wants to play his own style of football. So you have to give Eze time. I'm telling you, Arteta already has in his mind the players that played for him last season almost won him the title. He still believes those players will win him the title. All he just needed to do was just back it up a bit, just in case players like Havertz get an injury, he's not dropping the quality, crashing it down. So if he brings someone like an Eze or Gyökeres, the quality is still maintained. But in his mind's eye, those players for last season almost won him the league. Those guys can do the job. You just need to fine-tune it to take them over the line. That's it.
I think Arsenal just bottled jobs. I think they're going to bottle it once again. I just don't think they're creating enough. Saka's gone down too much as well. Saka, he said that people tell me, the Arsenal fans told all us, Saka's world class. How's he world class? He's never won nothing in his life apart from the cup for Man City.
You make those arguments, right? But the truth is, look at it. Saka is down. Noni Madueke has come in.
Yeah, but look how long the
quality dropped a little bit, but Madueke is still trying to do what Saka used to do, bring to the team. I even feel like Madueke does more by contributing in terms of trying to find the striker and all of that. But whereas Saka, on the other hand, he tries to do the glory hunting. When it doesn't work, that's when he looks for the striker and whoever.
Well, what I'm trying to say, Drake, it's to Arsenal, for Arteta since he's been there. I don't know. I think it's about 7 years. Seven seasons, yeah. So it took him 7 seasons, and look how the squad depth of his squad now, from 2024, 2023, and then 2022. He's got a better squad now in that team than what he had in 2024 and 2023, because this team, he's also got a proper strength and depth now in the squad. But so what? It's just good. And they've got Wolverhampton on Wednesday, right? And they've got Tottenham on the weekend. So they've got Man City got a game in hand. They've got their 2 games. I don't get how the games made it like the game in hand it provides. I think Newcastle, because Newcastle's got Carabao on the weekend. But with Arsenal, I think they're slacking off, mate. I think they're slacking off. They're dropping off.
We'll see. But moving on to the last game of the Premier League game week, Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool fans probably thinking they're back. This is their win. This is the second win since losing to Man City, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was not a win that I say filled me with confidence that Liverpool is going to get themselves back in top 4, probably chase down 3rd place or 4th place. I think this is a win that they struggled, they fought for their lives. And to be fair, I feel like Sunderland should have had a goal in this game. I felt like VR made some grave decisions in this game that changed the outcome. And to be fair, you expect these things when it comes to Liverpool. You know, the scouts out there behave. And these are the things where we will have to always question and wonder why it's like this. I think there was given a lot of rain with the referee, a lot of calls went their way that maybe were like a little bit too soft and a little bit too light. But I still think that for the money that they spent this summer, this Liverpool team has not really hit the heights that they should have, what they were expected to be. Like they're right about where I expect them to be honest, because I said that they were going to be in 6th this season. I was expecting them to not really perform well and probably drop a lot of points even late in the season. And it's one of those situations where I would say to everybody, like, it is what it is with this Liverpool team. You know, they did improve their attacking lineup, but they didn't fix their defensive frailties. And of course, their midfield can't go on all season like they are. So they need to make some drastic changes to the squad. Of course, they need to bring in some players. The situation with the manager, I hope he get a 10-year contract, I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Davi, what are your thoughts on this Liverpool match versus Sunderland?
So, I mean, Liverpool got the win. That's the good thing. I do believe, like what you said, like, you know, they need to make some drastic changes. That's for sure. I feel like they are doing that because they brought in Hugo Ekitike. They brought in Alexander Isak. Isak. Yeah, let's just say Alexander Isak. They brought in Wirtz. They brought in Jeremy Frimpong. So they're making those changes. Once they're able to get more developed players to go and play behind the centre-backs, which is Konate and Van Dijk, they will be fine. They will be fine because the only thing left they will need then after that is a left-back, a consistent left-back. Goalkeeper, they already have, Mamedashvili for behind. So you see, they're already on their way. It's just a case of having them being able to get more game time, being able to play, and being able to develop into the first team squad, and they should be fine. I feel like for them, this is only a transition that's happening because you have to understand that their players are getting older. Mohamed Salah, 37? You got, is he 37 or 36? He's one of the two, but he's older in age. And then you got, what's his name? Van Dijk, 33.
Yeah, 37, Salah, 37.
So you see what I'm saying? So the players they need to change is the ones that are really aging. And that's like me with Chelsea. For me, I like it when they sell players that are, you know, in their 27 or going 28. You know, I would prefer them to go. It doesn't matter who they are in the club. I would prefer it. When we sold Eden Hazard was 27. We sold him to Real Madrid, got all the money for him. And when he went to Real Madrid, what happened? It was a bust. Because at that time, you have to understand, when the players start getting older, you need to know how to transition into getting the next person that's going to take his place. So they at least need 2 seasons to be able to season themselves watching those players, training with those players before they can come on the pitch and do something. Which is why, like, you know, what I'm happy they're doing with Mamedashvili behind the goalkeeper. They're making him train. They're making him watch it. They brought him last season, and this season he's just been sitting down in the bench, watching, training hard. Because there's going to be a time where Ederson, is it? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Addison is not going to be able to play in goal no more. Guess what? Mamedashvili is there better and stronger, and he'll be able to play what you know Alisson was doing for them. So you see, I like that. But again, now can Liverpool overcome what they are right now and come on to win more trophies maybe in the next 3-4 seasons? I don't think so. I feel like their squad is getting weaker because of that. Because the problem is you got guys like Hugo Ekitike. He's shown he's great in the Premier League. The problem is if you can't stay away from injuries, you're not physically ready to play in the Premier League versus the other big teams. Because you got teams here that they have strikers. You come to realize the only team that really has strikers that stay available all throughout the season is Man City. After Man City, name another team that has their strikers. Tottenham out. Manchester United out. Chelsea, even though we have our strikers, they don't strike, so they don't really count. You know what I'm saying? But then
even the one you had, the lap, it was out.
Yeah, exactly. So you see my point. So this is the thing where I'm saying that Liverpool will have a long way to go. Luckily for them, they're not Tottenham in a situation where it's like they only play in the first team every game because they have no one else on the bench. But they have a long way to go of regressing and adapting to the players that are missing that need to come in to take care of those formations that are empty. So, yeah.
Oh, good. But yeah, like with Liverpool guys, I think I won't write them right off because like it's a new bounce for Slot. It's a new team. You've got to understand. If we talk about Liverpool's players before, their best players like last year, they had Lucas Diaz. They didn't want him sold in that team for the left wing side because there was a better performance for him with Gakpo. Because yes, you know, Gakpo was more like a squad bench player when it came up for Lucas Diaz. But now they've lost like Lucas Diaz. That Hendo, that Japanese guy, is a big mistake, big massive loss for them. because it's the way the Sunderland game, you saw the Sunderland game, they look more like a better front first half. Liverpool, like doing a bit of tiki-taka, could have had Andrew Robertson on the left side. He's more like a right. Van Dijk and all that lot, they just knew how to play the football when Hendo was in that team. And then you also, McAllister came back from injury, I think. Was it McAllister came back from injury? He also came back, and he's no matter what people say, he's still one of the best midfielders in the Premier League by far. McAllister, like, we have to agree on him. He is the best, but he's come back from injury. Works hasn't really come up with performance, but now he's actually putting his performance in day in, day out. No matter what, how many games he's played, he's still scored goals and he's still performing that right thing. Like Davey said, Ekitike, the striker, is incredible. If he could consistent, play every single game and score every single game, I think Liverpool will be fine. Yeah, they've got Isak is a big problem they're missing. Yes, he's injured, but Isak is a quality striker, still a world-class striker in the team. He's one of the probably the second and third best in Premier League, as long with other strikers in there with Eden Haaland. So I'm not going to write off like Liverpool off. Like they've had their ups and downs, but can I see them finishing top 4 this season? I don't see it happening, but they won't slot out. And if slot 2 games or 3 games don't change the team, yes, they beat Sunderland 1-0 by lucky. Sunderland, but I think if Sunderland had their key player in that team, but as we know, Akaka, the ex-Arsenal, I don't think Liverpool wins this game. I think because they're missing that key player in that midfield for Sunderland, I don't think Liverpool wins this game. But because they won 1-0. It was a tricky game for Liverpool, and going to Sunderland is a hard test ground in their ground. They don't lose at their ground, but Liverpool went there and got the result over it. I think Liverpool will be fine, but I just don't think in the end of it, I think they might finish in top 4, top 5 near Champions League. It just depends how Chelsea could go, because we got tough games coming up. Man United's got tough games, and I think Aston Villa won't stay top 3. I don't think Aston Villa will stay on top form because they're losing a lot of key players now. Aston Villa, they're bringing Tammy Abraham. I don't think Aston Villa. We saw them did it last year where they was in the top 4 and then they decided to drop downhill. I think it's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough season for Aston Villa, but the rest of the games, Liverpool, I think they're fine. I think they'll get edge over Champions League football this season. I won't write them off.
For me, I would say they were lucky to get a 3 point. They were lucky to get a 3 point. All game, they had those 3 shots on target, and they had 1 at the back of the net. So, a lot being said, I still feel like they would struggle because if you watch them, they still rely on the likes of Salah and McAllister, right? And if you take those 2 guys out of Salah, has not been, maybe age is catching up with him right now. Right, but if you take Salah out of the game and you take those free kicks that Szoboszlai tends to convert, bro, they would struggle. Yeah. So, in my opinion,
he's missing 4 games now, isn't he? He's got 4 games now. Yeah,
Salah, for them to find themselves in maybe top 4, right? Depending on how the English team do in the Champions League, I feel like top 5 will get Champions League. So as long as Salah is finding a way to stay in form, right, they might. But if Salah is struggling, bro, and if the opposition finds a way of trying to it's not going to be possible, but find a way of meeting the further they commit closer to their 18. Because Szoboszlai is deadly, bro. When it comes to those free kicks, I tell you, 7 out of 10, it will convert. 7 out of 10 free kicks close in that range, it will convert it. So, but Liverpool, if they sell the likes of Salah and Van Dijk, even Alisson, I feel like if they make this change next season, bro, man, it's gonna be tough. That's my take on Liverpool. They were lucky; they got the 3 points. Kudos to them.
And I mean, listening to all the talk the entire time, bro.
You know, just go kind of cool and thing now. Not getting used to this as a Caribbean boy. So it's real scenes, you know, fellas. I telling all you last week it was warming up. Yeah, it's a carnival in Germany, bro. I had to tell all this joke. You know, last week, you know, your boy hype up this week. I saying this week, bro. Monday, I'm going out in the city and Lime and see how it goes. Cause you know I like my carnival being a Caribbean boy. It's snowing this morning, raining. I say it's rain wet to me is soft snow. Black. This boy, you know what I mean, bro? Man, them outside there partying in this wicked to themselves, bro. Bro, I've been to Manchester, I've been to Shoreditch, and Christmas time I had to see short skirts and mini dresses, and I'm be like,
of course, that still got for run,
brother. I don't know how they didn't survive in that water, but bro, when my hands is be cold, bro, I could just imagine.
Man, even in the cold, you still have to do something.
Question for you guys. Where do you think Liverpool finishing this season then? Where do you think they're going to finish?
Sixth. I tell all them and them since the beginning of the season, Liverpool finishing in sixth. I don't know about nobody. I know about me. I know about what I believe. And
Mark, I have to run, bro. I have to run.
We're about to round up, Drex. So after you answer that and Davi answer his part, we go on.
Yeah, I think they finished like 6th, 7th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel 6. Yeah, because I'm looking at them, they still have a little bit of poor performance to give. So I will leave them at 6.
Who's their game features coming up? Because I don't really care about Liverpool. Well, it's true. As long as they stay down the bottom there and they're all right, I'll be all right. I don't really care. They spent how much money this season? They spent 570 million this season, and Liverpool fans said soon they get Isak, the Premier League's over. They're finished. They're winning the league. They haven't. But now, look where they are.
But as soon as they got Isak, their Premier League was over, bro.
Yeah, the Premier League was over. But they were saying they were going to win the Premier League with it. Now Isak.
Bro, everybody does say they're going to win the Prem. I mean, at the end of the day, you could talk, but it's up to a team to deliver. And I mean, I might be the guy. I can't really push that kind of vibes this season because my team coming from 15th. But I'm in a precarious position as we speak right now. Like, if you watch that table there, I ain't 4th on 45 points. You know what I mean? Yeah, behind, 12 points from the top of the table or more could be. You know what I mean? But Manchester City gettable, bro. If you do your job and I do, and other teams do their jobs, yeah, I will slap Liverpool, man. You will slap City. Who knows? Aston Villa might get licks. They might draw City, and we might end up higher than Aston Villa, bro. It could be Aston Villa fighting with Liverpool and whoever else below. I could care less.
Aston Villa's not staying top this season.
But anyway, I just hope that, the table kind of stays something like this. Maybe I would like to see Aston Villa drop out of that top 4, maybe drop into 5th. Chelsea, Man United in the top 4 somewhere about. It will look good. It will give me that sense of, that 90s. Big up to everybody. And guys, Drex has to go. Davi was here. Chelsea Dan comes through finally for the home. It goes. Guys, we'll be back next week, Monday. This week, I know a lot of people didn't think I was going live today. I'll be honest. Normally, I create my stream the night before, so everybody knows I'm live today, but I did it late this evening, so don't mind anything. Next week, we'll be here, guys. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe. Don't forget to, leave the comments on live. We know a lot of you are going to be watching the non-live because you all didn't catch it tonight. You all didn't think I was live, so big up to each and everybody watching. Davi, big up to you, bro. Chelsea,
smash the like button.
Big up, bro.
Smash the like and subscribe. Smash the like and subscribe to the channel, man. Thanks for having me on. Sorry I came on late, Mark Bart, man. But yeah,
I'll make sure. All good. I just harassing you, bro. I just harass you a little bit, bro. Small thing.
I know, bro, man.
Baby.